Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, Anita Finley.
Those of you who live in Boynton Beach, as we do, there's a very special place there, and it's called the Boynton Beach Postal and Gift Center. And Michael Sayne is the owner, has been the owner, the creator. He does all the buying. If you want to buy a gift or you just want to go and have some fun, you ought to go buy that, go in there. And we're going to talk more about that in this half hour. But I dragged Michael here this morning to be with us to talk about his shop. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Miss Anita.
Miss Anita. Well, you know, Michael, right now I'm sitting here with a Damn It doll, as a matter of fact. And this Damn It doll is so fantastic because if something doesn't happen, like if you didn't show up this morning, I would have banged this against the table here at the studio and said, damn it, damn it, damn it, where is he? But he did. He came in as early as this is. And I just wanted to tell everybody that before I forget, if you go into his shop, we are giving away some of the Damn It dolls, but you have to, it's a drawing, you have to get in there, and you have to drop your name into the box. And while you're there, you're going to see the neatest items. So I want to ask you something. Tell people about kind of the history of your wonderful shop and how it started and what the way you think about it.
Well, it started 25 years ago, basically as just a pack and ship. And we sold half-price greeting cards and fruit shipping, and that was pretty much it. So then we decided we would get on the cutting edge of having one of the first places around that had computer rooms. And, well, that was simply a bust because my mainstay of customer was around 60 to 65 years of age. They, at that time, 25 years ago, did not really know what a computer was, didn't care what a computer was. So after about a year of nobody ever going into the computer rooms at all, we dismantled the computer rooms and turned them into just kind of some little tchotchke gifts kind of sort of thing. And it grew from there. It was a 1,000-square-foot store, and we started building all these tables and putting them outside and started having a little bit more of giftware, and had then opened up a whole new section of nothing but stationery products. So from there, it just kept growing to where we had more tables outside than we had inside. And we ended up having to, anytime it rained, we had to tarp them or try and drag them in. Then, of course, no one could come into the store. So I made a deal with the shopping center to move into a much larger space, which is about 3,800 square feet. So when we first opened that location, just across the parking lot, you could roller skate through the whole store because it takes a long time to fill up a 3,800 square foot spot. But lo and behold, it didn't take that long because you just keep going to shows and you go to craft shows and you find certain people who can make things specifically for you. And from there, it just kept growing, and we just keep evolving to where now a third of the store is ladies' clothing and accessories and handbags because the gift industry kind of went through a slump to where the creativeness was gone. And people would search for, I'm looking for something special. I'm looking for something special. And I said, well, what would you look for? And they said, well, I don't know. I guess I'll see it. I'll know when I see it. So when I would go to shows and talk to manufacturers, I would tell them kind of the same thing. They said, well, what do you see coming up? I said, well, that's your job. My job is to buy it and sell it for you. Your job is to be creative because otherwise then I would be in your shoe. So it just kept growing and growing from that. And so now it's this. Now you cannot roller skate through the store any longer.
Hardly. But the one thing is Michael's very busy in there because the nice thing that you do for people is you pack up and you ship for them. But that's not casual. This isn't like you're going to FedEx. This is different. I go in there, and especially during the season, and you see these huge amounts of boxes, and what is that? That's a really nice thing that you do for people.
Well, I've always been a customer service kind of person. So I believe in helping people any way and every way that I can. Excuse me. So I have a lot of people who do estates, and they call me up to come over to break up the estate to send, say, if they have 7 different kids around the country, you don't want to use a moving company because they deal in thousands and thousands of, because they want big things to ship to different places. They don't want to take like Mama's China all the way over to Nebraska. They'll take Mama's China with the furniture and other things of that nature, but they don't want small things. So that's where UPS and Federal Express come into account. And you have to also know how to pack them properly to where you know they're going to arrive what I call alive. Because if it arrives broken, what's the point of spending the money to ship it? But then also, we being down here in Florida, especially South Florida, you're dealing with what I call them winter residents. They used to call them always snowbirds. I call them winter residents because most of them are here for more than 3 months. And so with the airlines, they don't want to schlep the stuff with them. So it's easier for them just to bring their clothing in just garbage bags if they like, plastic bags, and we find the right box right there in front of them and just pack it up. And then it just delivered to their doorstep and they don't have to worry about it anymore. So that's how it all started out as a pack and ship, and it's just continued doing that. And it's just an easier way for people not to have to worry about when they get to the airport what's going to happen to them. And with the airlines, like I got into it to some degree because when I used to travel to New York for theater runs, my luggage always went to San Francisco. I do not know why, but and then it showed up on Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning when I'm leaving on Sunday afternoon, and so I'd always have to go rent a tux. So I got really annoyed with that. So I would go to the post office and stand in line forever. And then you had to take a chance that maybe it might be there before you get there or it might not. So then I would go stand in line at UPS. And the same thing, they'd have one clerk working and you just be there forever. I'm like, there's got to be a better way than doing that. So this is how this all happened.
And you are a better way. I go in there and there are times when there are just boxes and boxes and boxes, and I couldn't believe what he did. And let me just say something else that I think is so nice. I mean, I want to just tell you where the store is again. So if you're on Woolbright, and it's right off Federal Highway, and I just will tell you, the way that I find it is next to the pet supermarket. I go to the bank there at TD Bank, I go to Bank of America. It's kind of my little home area, but you can go there. There's plenty of parking, and it's called Sunshine Square, and it's in Boynton Beach. The address is 562 East Woolbright Road, but it's easier, I'm sure, if you would just get over there to the pet supermarket. It's just like maybe a couple of stores down. It's called Boynton Beach Postal and Gift Center. It's a uniquely whimsical gift shop that features hand-painted furniture, stemware, tableware, tabletop accessories, candles, potpourri, and more. And it's a lot of more. When I want to buy a gift, I don't want to just buy something that everybody else has. And I have bought the most wonderful little tea towels. Things I bought, there are times I have to buy mail advertisers something. And I have to be careful what I buy. And I've bought, let's see, one was a basketball game, and the other was a dart game. And that's been very popular. But for women, I've bought frames. I've bought just beautiful things. I mean, the thing I love the most, of course, are these Dammit dolls. Dammit. Dammit, right? Did I spell that right? In fact, one person said to me, they're goddammit dolls because no one says damn it, but we can't do that. We can say it on the radio. But I just hope you'll go in and say hello to Michael. It'll be a treat for Michael and for you. I must tell you, you want to do that. I want to get into something else that's been important to me. When you give someone a gift, you want it wrapped. And even though I have plenty of wrapping paper, there's something about when you wrap something, it's so beautiful, and you don't charge for wrapping.
Nope. If you buy the gift in there, I wrap it for free. And you can also bring, if you were shipping things out for someone, I will do the same thing for you. It probably might cost you $1, but that's pretty much about it. Unless it's like a bicycle. If I have to wrap a bicycle, it would probably cost you more than $1.
You haven't never had to wrap a bicycle.
No, but I've actually had to wrap paintings that are, for a gift to ship out that are, a good 4 feet by 5 feet. So that takes a little while. So, you may have to pay $2 for that one.
Okay, and so now the next thing that I bought there that I absolutely love are my Snoozies. Why did you explain what my Snoozies are? Because people, I don't know how many you have left yet because I know you're getting new supply, but you want the sweetest little slipper. What about those Snoozies?
Well, the Snoozies, they come in so many different varieties. As a matter of fact, I have some coming in for Christmas that have little bells that hang off of them. There's kind of a little whimsical thing. And then there's some that have some different sayings on them. But there's a variety of Snoozies. There's Snoozies that are just like slip-ons, like deer foam. The old deer foam where there was just like had a little non-skid on the bottom of them. They're just really cushy things that you can throw in the washing machine, almost like little socks with that you would wear. Then there's the ones that you bought, which are really more like moccasins because they have a rubber sole on the bottom. So you can actually wear those outdoors as well as indoors, and some of them have more pile or what you call fur on the inside, and some have less. I try to buy less pile because we're in Florida and we already have a lot of heat. But then I have to also realize that a lot of people who come in are also from the north. So they'll want to buy some to take up north because when the winter months up there, even though most of them are here, but they may give them to some of their family members who do not have the luxury of being able to say, ciao, and just lock up and leave.
Well, and I also told you that, I think I've bought them. I buy some wonderful greeting cards from you. Now, everyone has greeting cards, but you select your greeting cards, don't you? They are not casual.
Nope, I carry quite a variety of greeting cards. I have a full section of about 10,000 that are all half-price greeting cards, which are quite, they're very nice, and they're good for people who, when if you're going to send someone a check, they're looking for the check. So you don't really need to go buy a Hallmark or an American Greeting. So you buy the cheaper version of a card because, as I tell my mother, the same thing. I said, "Are you sending me a check?" And she says, "Yes." She goes, I said, "Well, then get me one of those cheapy cards." I said, "But if you're not going to send me a check, I want a Hallmark."
Oh, my gosh.
But I just met with another man that we're having another new line of greeting card coming in called, a lot of you I'm sure are aware of them, called Papyrus. And they're much more elaborate kind of cards. They're a little more expensive, but they have all kinds of accoutrements on it. There's jewels on them. There's glitter on them. There's bows. There's all kinds of...
I haven't seen them yet. I'm going to go do that.
Well, they start arriving in September.
Okay.
But then we also have another kind of card there, and it's from a company called Quilling. And what quilling is a way where they take paper and they form it into shapes. And it's just all these strips of paper, and it's all three-dimensional. So if you ever come into the store, just ask me or ask one of the staff, say, show me the quilling cards, because they're quite unique, whereas people will, a lot of times when they get them, don't just throw them away after you see the card. Frame it. You can frame them and just put them up in your house, and you can enjoy them for the rest of your life.
Do you have them now?
I do have them now.
Oh, so now you can go in and see the Dammit dolls and see the Quillums, Quil.
Quilling.
Oh, Quilling, Quilling.
That sounds good.
Okay. This is wonderful. Well, I have to say that if I have to go shopping to the grocery store, I have to buy the food, but I love to stop in at Michael Sayne's Postal. Well, it's not really Postal. It's Boynton Beach Postal and Gift Center because it kind of makes my day. And I'll just warn you, though, you're not going to go in there and not walk out with something. He has little gift items from $1 all the way up to, I'm buying a Ferris wheel, as a matter of fact, because of friends that they need to have this. And that's more money, but it's really worth it. And I think what Michael likes, he loves everything you buy yourself. You love it. You love this store.
Yes, I could easily be my own hoarder. Because and I also have to remember that when I do go to the shows, I have to think about other people, not just myself. Like, I really like that because, Mrs. Smith may not like that. So I have to think about all the different people that I've known in 25 years that have been coming in there. And then now I'm getting their children who have now taken over their houses, who are now retiring because their mom and dad have, expired, deceased, whichever. So they're used to coming into the store, when they would come down for their spring vacations or whatever. So now I'm having to think about them. So, I know the children, the grandchildren, and it just goes on and on. It's like one big happy family for me. Even my own family says I treat them more like family than I do my own family.
Oh.
But I see them every day. I don't see my family every day. Not that I don't love my family, but I these people, it's kind of like, as they say with grandchildren, you get to love the grandchildren, then you get to give them back. You don't have to stay with them. Family, you get to stay with.
Well, what I love about your store is, like, here we see a Publix and we see these big things, Panera's bread, but you're like the little country store. Well, no, you're really much more sophisticated. You remind me a little bit of Cracker Barrel, except Cracker Barrel has a lot of the same thing. You don't. You buy one thing and you're probably never going to see it anywhere else. And like the frames, you really do have gorgeous picture frames.
I spend a lot of time looking at frames because, if you want just a plain frame, you're just going to go to a craft store. Don't, because even if I had a plain frame, it's going to be expensive. So I would rather if I'm going to have some expensive, unique frames, I want them to be unique, because when you give a frame to someone that you're going to put something in, it needs to be special. It doesn't need to be plain. And so it's very important to me that when I'm looking for all of these different things, that when we go to you have to realize, the Atlanta Gift Show is about 9 to 10 days long. And we normally spend at least 7 days there. We go to every single showroom. It is 3 buildings. One building has 14 floors, one has 22 floors, and one has 18 floors.
Where is this?
This is in Atlanta, downtown Atlanta. And envision that each floor is about the size of Boynton Beach Mall.
I am just sitting with my mouth open.
Yes.
Oh.
I took my mother there one time, and she will never go again. She says, I have never walked that much in my entire life, and I never will again.
And so when you're doing this, you probably have your favorites, but you're actually going in and they have like on display all the different gifts. And so you now probably know who has unique gifts and the kinds of things you want.
No.
Oh.
Unfortunately, that is a problem in itself, but not so much. We are constantly, every show that we go to 7 shows a year, up in Atlanta. And then we go to more shows around the country as well, even in Palm Beach and Orlando. We are always after new and unique. Even if we've gone to a company before and bought, $10,000 worth of their items, we may never buy it from that company ever again, because we don't want to buy the same thing. I have such repeat business, and even for myself, I don't want to look at the same thing all the time. So that is why we only buy 5 or 10 of this, and that is it. And once it's done, most of the companies that we buy from are smaller manufacturers. We try to buy from as many American-made manufacturers as possible to keep everything here. They won't make it again. They're off to the next thing, because they realize themselves that everything is an impulse and everything is happening now. And then tomorrow, that happening now is already gone. It's like same thing with your computer. It's good today. 3 months from now, sorry, you're obsolete. If you want to do this, now you've got to go into this. That's why, Apple has, whenever you buy a cell phone from them, you can't use your same old charger. You have to buy a new charger, because they change it just so that they can continue making money.
I know. Well, I want to tell everybody some of the things I've bought there. First of all, let me give you a phone number just in case you want to call them. They're not open yet because Michael's here, but it's 561-738-6002, and you are actually open 6 days a week?
Correct.
6 days a week.
Monday through Friday, it's 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., and Saturday is 9 to 4.
Okay.
And then during the holiday time, at Christmas, from Thanksgiving until Christmas Day, we're open 7 days a week.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you some of the things. I bought this neat purse with a fringe, which I really love. I bought a big white purse with all these silver buttons, you'd call it. I really bought a lot of things from you. I'm trying to think about some of the other things. Yeah,
I'm going to have to start giving you the family discount.
No, it's all right. But I have to tell you another thing that happened, and this is funny. People know that I've been on the Smart for Life diet, and the woman, Renata, who's the owner, along with her physician husband, every time you walk in there, and in a funny way, she says, hello, skinny bitch. It's just funny. I'm allowed to say this, I think, skinny bitch. And so I'm in your store, and of course, this is a cookie diet, I have to tell you this. So this is the funniest thing that ever happened. I'm in your store, I always look at all your little handtails, and there's something that says, skinny bitch, and eat cookie. And I said, oh my God, I have to buy that for her. Well, I did. And that's the rave of the whole place. They have a center here in Boca Raton. I mean, it was so appropriate, but who else would have bought that? I mean, it wasn't. So why you ever bought that yourself? Why did you buy that?
Because I'm a cookie baby.
And you are skinny. You exercise a lot.
Skinny.
Well, you exercise a lot. So that's the kind of stuff. So I suggest before you go to a big department store, now they have lots of jewelry. something else I bought, which I don't think my husband's listening because I'm waiting for our anniversary to give it to him. What do you call those big dolls they're dolls that you wind up?
Oh, you mean the battery operated?
Oh, yeah, and I have two pigs and dancing together.
And they're dancing to the samba.
Right.
Yes. Then we carry a lot of children's things as well. Not as much as I used to, but I do carry a lot of onesies and hoodie towels and bibs and whatever. But we also have these animated singing animals. Whether it may be what you just said, you bought two pigs that when you put them on the floor, they do the mambo back and forth in the samba. I can't remember what the name of the song is, but there's other ones that for children that Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, the little praying lambs. Then we have a couple of bears that light up for newborn babies that play Brahms' Lullaby and something else, and it's just very nice and soft music, but all the light, they change colors, but it's very subdued lighting and very calming for a baby to be able to sleep. But there's nothing on them for a baby to, ingest or whatever. So mothers don't have to worry about that sort of thing. But there's a lot of kooky ones too that we get in, and there's so many to explain to you what they do. You'd have to come in and see them.
Yeah, you have to come in, and Michael's very, very nice about showing everything. And what they like about it, everything has a price on it. There are a lot of stores you go to, and you have to, oh, excuse me, how much is this? How much is that? But he's pretty good about that. The other thing, we were just in New York, as I told you, and we went into MoMA, which is a Museum of Modern Art. And I'm always buying things there for the children. But I have to tell you that I've bought those gorgeous books for our triplets, our 10-year-old triplets, which are, how do I describe them? You open them up, and of course, if it's a flower book, there's huge flowers on every page that open up like they're real.
They're called pop-ups.
Pop-ups.
The books I buy mostly were designed by a man named Robert Sabuda, and he's very well known for his creativity with paper. And so, like you said, yes, we have them for boys as well that are on ocean, where there are all these sharks. You open up the middle of it, and a shark's face comes straight out at you. And then there's the Wizard of Oz, the Little Mermaid. There's all these, the Alice in Wonderland. There's a ton of them. We carry Christmas ones as well, but they're perfect. And then inside the pop-up books, there are layers that you can pop up as well that tell stories. And when you open them up, they have smaller pop-ups, but they're all there. It's very intricate.
You can see how enthusiastic Michael and I are about what he carries. I mean, I'm a kind of a person that I really do like to have unusual things, and I like to give people things, but I don't want it to be run of the mill. And so I found you. I mean, I just really love I love his store so much. Again, it's called Boynton Beach Postal and Gift Center. Now, if you want a Dammit doll, we still have them around. They're going fast, so you want to go in there and put your name into the pretty box that Michael decorated. And you never know, we're going to give away a few Dammit dolls. So go in there, and I'll give you the address again. Probably doesn't make too much sense. It's on Woolbright Road. It's right off Federal Highway. It's 562 East Woolbright, but it's next to the pet supermarket. Well, a few doors down. And the number again is 561-738-6002. So when things aren't going your way, take this Dammit doll and bang it a few times, relieves your stress. They're really cute.
And one other thing. For the next week, and the next week only, anyone who's listening to this radio program, if you come in, you get 20% off of any of the merchandise that you want.
Well, I'm going shopping again. You can go early.
Just mention that you heard me on the radio and with Miss Anita, and you'll be able to get 20% off on any of the merchandise that you buy.
That's really
for
nice
1 week
of
only.
you. You are so sweet. Okay, well, we'll have to see what happens there, but we certainly hope our listeners will go there. It'll be joyful for you. And I have to say that we didn't talk about your clothing. We'll have to do that, and we'll do that another time. But you have beautiful things for people to wear.
Yes, we have a large variety of price as well. You can spend as little as $25 on a new top, or if you really want to, do the town, you can go up as much as $300 or $350 for a top. So we carry a wide variety. So depending on what your occasion is that you want, I have two ladies. Usually once a month they come in and they go trying some things on, and then they come to the front register and they say, "Now just cut the tags off because I'm on my way to dinner and I need something new to wear." and you always have whatever I need. So they buy a top, usually a jacket, and a pair of pants. And I just cut the tags off, and they said, just put these old things in a bag, and I'll carry them with me.
So people can actually go in there, and you have a dressing room.
I do. I have two dressing rooms.
I just found out this. I don't even know about that. Well, you have, what you are really is, as you said when we were talking, you really do like people, and you want to accommodate them, and you get great joy when they buy something that you've brought in there, because you're the owner. You're the one that goes to the gift shops, the gift shows rather. It's really an honor to know you.
Well, thank you. It's an honor knowing you too.
Yeah, a lot of people know you.
I like smiles more than I like frowns. Not that I don't like frowns, because we learn a lot more from frowns. Too many smiles you just take for granted sometimes. So it's, frowns, you get to learn that you're human, and that you may need to improve on some things. But with smiles, you think sometimes you just take it for granted. So
yeah, well, we don't want to take anybody for granted, and I'm so glad you came here this morning, Michael.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
It's been a pleasure. And so if you want handbags, or you want just picture frames, you want cards, you want clothing, you want Dammit dolls, you want one thing is you do love people. I mean, people love to show the beach. So many of your things are happy. Go to the beach. The frames have beach on them. Some of your towels have beach on them. So if people like the beach, and you want to, give someone something that reminds me of the beach, this is the place. So thank you very much for being here this morning.
Thank you.